let's say you're an established business, you're growing, and, our mission, we want a team with innovative businesses in their growth.
Okay.
And so we go in and we say, hey, what's your IP look like? What's your unique marketable value proposition? And how do we protect that?
Welcome to Hangar X Studios, where former fighter pilot and host John Ramstead takes us on a journey across aerospace as it enters an historic period of innovation and transformation. Our guests include aviation experts, pilots, financiers, military leaders, and innovators of all types. Buckle up for another episode of Hangar X.
Today's episode is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, XTI Aerospace. They are powering the vertical economy, building a long-range VTOL, and you can find more at xtiaerospace.com. Now, please remember to like, comment, and share on this channel, and enjoy today's podcast. Hey, welcome to Hangar X, and we're live at the Hive in Grand Forks, North Dakota. And what we're going to be talking about today is, as an aerospace company, whether you're drone through VTOL, through powered lift, it is essential and critical to have a strategy for your intellectual property, for your patents, for what that does for you as a company. So we wanted to bring on Tom Kading today. So Tom, welcome to the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and you're with Fargo Patent Law. You have offices up here in Grand Forks. You come up to the Hive where we're at monthly to meet with all the dozens and dozens of companies that are here. You have some offices in Colorado Springs, but tell us a little bit of background on why you and your partners chose to focus on this part of the law and what you guys do.
Well, I think at the core of things, I'm an entrepreneur. I like to see opportunity. During law school, I got into various businesses and I exited, and then I started Fargo Patent Law. And, I have an engineering background, and one of the prerequisites to be a patent attorney, you have to have a hard science background, and that was engineering in this case. So I launched Fargo Patent Law, and one of the spaces that's innovating, that's growing, that's exploding, both in North Dakota, all over the country, is the UAS aerospace area, and I think it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's why. So.
Yeah. Now, we were talking about my intellectual property, my patent strategy that a company should have, whether they're like early stage, pre-revenue, or even more mature. Could you talk a little bit about what are you seeing with your clients that are some good strategies or things maybe they forgot about and like, oops, that was a mistake. We can learn from that with the next client we're working with.
So one of the things I tell my client, patents, trademarks, it's a piece of paper until you do something with it. Okay. So you have to figure out how does the piece of IP fit into the overall business strategy. So IP, it's not just patents, it's not just filing a couple papers, it's how does that overall strategy all fit together? So when we go into a company, whether it's at early stage or established, and we love working with both, but let's say you're an established business, you're growing, and our mission, we want a team with innovative businesses in their growth.
Okay.
And so we go in and we say, hey, what's your IP look like? What's your unique marketable value proposition, and how do we protect that? So we look
do they
at the
typically
patents.
know what that is, or do you have them look through this and say, hey, this is patentable, this should be protected? Is that what you mean when you're partnering with them?
It's I would say a lot of them. Some of them do, a lot of them don't.
But don't know?
Yep. And especially don't know how to do it. So they might be like, hey, we sell this X widget and this thing's awesome and this works great. But how do we protect that? And they might be like, hey, I want to patent this whole thing, but you can't really patent that whole thing. We need to keep this piece with a trade secret. We need to have a patent here, and we need to keep your brand strong, and then have a contract map to kind of lay out, hey, what is your relationship to the industry and how are we protecting that?
Yeah.
So that's what they really don't know, and that's the kind of that big picture. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, I know we've all watched Shark Tank, right? And they always love to ask, do you have a patent? Oh, we've applied. I have a utility. Could you talk about what are some of the patents, on products, process, the different levels, just to educate people on what this is?
Yeah. So patent, you say, hey, I want a monopoly. I want exclusivity on a certain concept that I came up with.
Yeah.
So utility patent, hey, I'm going to patent something useful. I'm going to get a 20-year, more or less, monopoly on the concept. But that 20-year right, and you file it with the U.S. Patent Office, and you disclose kind of what the concept is, and assuming it's novel and non-obvious, it turns into a patent, and you get that 20-year right.
Okay.
So the utility patent, that's on something useful. The design patent's like, hey, I've got a unique look, I've got a unique shape to my drone, unique shape to my whatever it might be. I want to patent that shape or that ornamental appearance.
Okay.
And that would be a design application. Design applications are usually a little bit easier to get through. It's a shorter monopoly, a 15-year monopoly.
Okay.
So those are kind of the two different types of patents you can pursue.
So design and utility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's trade secret too. So some people are like, hey, I have something that's a secret, like an algorithm or some sort of software or something like that.
Would a process be part of that too?
It could be.
Okay.
The process could really fit into either the trade secret side or the patent side.
Utility side?
Yeah.
Okay.
And oftentimes what we say is, hey, if you can keep something a secret, maybe keep it a secret.
Yeah.
But if something's in the public, people very well could rip you off, and that's where a patent might be
Or
appropriate.
go use your idea to go make money.
Exactly.
So that leads me to another question: is how do I think about almost my IP and an IP strategy to use that as a either foundational or an asset to my company?
Yeah, so that's a great question. People look at patents or IP and they're like, hey, I'm going to sue my competitor. I'm going to sue someone over this. But that's really not what my opinion is. It's,
It's
IP
expensive and takes a lot of time.
It's very expensive.
Yeah, so help me rethink what most people view of a patent is, right?
So I say, hey, set this thing up so that maybe you want to raise capital from an investor, maybe you want to sell in 3 to 5 years, maybe you just want to put friction in the marketplace so that your competitors think twice about jumping in, and they're like, hey, I see you have a patent, we could go that route, but we're going to go another route because we know there might be an issue there, so we're going to avoid it. 99% of contracts aren't litigated, 99% of patents aren't litigated. So if you can use them without getting into litigation, that's going to be a win.
So how would you define what an IP portfolio is?
So in my mind, a good IP portfolio, you're going to have your patent technology, you're going to have your secret technology, your trade secrets.
Okay.
You're going to have your contract map. How does your technology interface with other parties, outside parties?
Yep.
And then you might have some open source stuff. Like, how do you get integration into your platform? Maybe you don't want to keep certain parts of it secret so that other people can, work with you.
So this could be software, hardware. Like, what are some of the things that are patentable? Like, especially if you've been looking in the aerospace.
Yeah, so software is a little bit tricky.
Yep.
Hardware, absolutely. Hardware, if you come out with a unique use for a sensor or a unique shape or unique component to something, you're like, hey, this unique novel component is marketable and everyone in the industry wants it. That's what you want to look at patenting. So hardware, absolutely.
Yep.
Software, patenting algorithms, patenting abstract ideas, certain software concepts, it gets very difficult.
Could be a little more challenging, but worth exploring.
Yeah.
But you can also give some feedback on that.
Yeah, and that's all part of it, figuring out how do you build the moat around your concept? How do you protect that? And sometimes it's not always protect the main idea because maybe that's not patentable. Maybe you protect the things around the main idea so that you keep them from getting after that main idea.
A little strategery there.
Yep.
All right. So what's your website at?
So we're FargoPatentLaw.com.
Yep. So up here in Grand Forks, Fargo, here at the Hive, Colorado Springs. So, anybody out there that's thinking about this, you're building something, it's worth having a conversation. We were actually talking before this, so we're actually going to be sitting down with you and just reviewing kind of our plans, our thoughts. There's some areas that we can strengthen or focus on, or even get your feedback. Hey, you should pursue this, not pursue this, because it's going to help you both with raising capital, building your aircraft competition. There's a lot of things to consider. So
absolutely.
Fair?
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it, man. Good to have you.
Absolutely.